enthusiasm.
I know, I want to. I can't smile all when I talk like her.
Hi, I'm James C., and I am a purveyor of certain quality vegetables.
And I am Jenny Kwan, and I play your favorite Kyoshi warrior, Suki.
What do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk a little bit about
The weather?
Yeah, the weather, right? Yeah.
Or would you like to talk about
Some
Avatar?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe about like what it was like to work on the show. You want to start?
Sure. Maybe, a lot of questions that people want to know is how we got on the show. So maybe it'd be fun to just kind of explain, how we got to where we are. So for myself, usually back in the day, what would happen is you would get what are called sides to audition for a show, which means an excerpt from a script. So sides.
That still happens.
Is
now.
it so-called side?
Yeah, but back in, I digress. Back in the day, we used to have to go into our agent's office.
Yeah.
And we would get what's called sides. I'm kind of all over the place sometimes, you guys, so bear with me. So I got these sides for, it was called like this warrior, and I went into my agent's office, did the audition. A week later, I heard, hey, you're going back to get a callback for this character you did. And I arrived at Nickelodeon. If you guys have seen pictures of Nickelodeon, it's this white building, but it looks like a rainbow grew up inside. So I go in for the producers, and the creators are there, Mike and Brian, and actually I saw Dante in the waiting room, and he's like, hey, Jenny, what are you here for? I'm like, I don't know, some character called Suki. Go in, do my thing, I didn't hear, and then I got cast as Suki, and it was only supposed to be a one-time guest star, but here we are today.
Well, it's also because, people cotton to your character.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was in a somewhat similar situation in that in the episode that I started with, I was just doing, they call it utility players. Like the little man one, cabbage merchant, one, car. So in actuality, I played both the cabbage merchant and the guard who throws his... Yeah. So that's how the cabbage merchant voice came around, because I had to differentiate between the guard, yeah, you can't come in here, that kind of thing. And so I had to think of, I can't do
and
that.
what's that other line that you had to say?
Yeah.
What? Well, don't get, but not as the guard.
Don't say it.
So then, you have to, tease it out. Right in my head. And so, yes, cabbages. And so that's how the voice of the cabbage merchant, because he couldn't be down here and low, so he had to be up here. And it was only supposed to be for one bit, so he was just kind of a fun little side character. And I thought I was done, but then, maybe, I don't know, a month later, they would call and they said, oh, they're booking you again. I'm like, oh, what part? For that cabbage merchant. What? Who was he? So it just kind of snowballed, and I'm just so lucky that he caught fire. So.
Mine was different. I auditioned, having not known that it had been cast, I believe, although no one's ever told me who had this part. God bless him.
We have the same.
Same story. So I auditioned and I was like, I don't know, I thought it was my time. I didn't know. And I was like, what's my? And so they said, we just want you to be really blasé. And I was like, I don't really do blasé. That's totally not me at all. But I tried and did it. And they were like, less energy, less energy. And so I was like, okay, if I don't move my face at all, just talking will be great. And I just kind of went home, and I didn't really think about it. And then I got it and was like, oh, cool. But when I went to Nickelodeon, there were already people there. And I was like, oh, these people, oh.
And you did yours, so typically with animation, unless it's anime, they animate to our voices.
Right.
I think for you and I both, right? Yeah. We were doing it, what they call to picture, right?
Yep.
So somebody had already
The
asked
first
for
time I had to do it, so you get the 3 beeps, and then you watch this little mouth, and you have to match what they're doing, which is really hard.
So
but
somebody,
we did it.
somebody's out there.
Somebody's out there.
Aw.
Good job.
I know, so I'm very happy. Yeah, and I've loved working with this crew. They're amazing.
And what were the recording sessions like for you guys?
Oh wait, did you say how you
Oh,
started singing?
Sing.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
okay. Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
I was co-signing them.
Aww. You go first this time, Olivia. What was it like recording Avatar for you?
Well, thank you for the story before, but I didn't read the script. So, I showed up season 2, and you get these scripts, and it says, Water Tribe, Earth Kingdom, Fire Lord. What is that? I don't know what this is, And I'm sure somebody tried to explain it to me in the recording, and I was like, oh, okay. So she's pink, right? So she's pink. And so because I was doing it to picture, I just played her pink. I had no idea it was a bad guy. And it wasn't, I swear to God, it wasn't until I did a con, my first con 15 years ago, and I was in Australia, and I just thought I was there for other stuff. I didn't even know Avatar was popular, because back in the day, when Avatar came out, the internet existed, but not in its current iteration, right? And so, it only went for 3 seasons. I just thought they canceled. I don't know, I was like, I guess no one watches this thing. So when I showed up there at this con, everybody was bringing this Avatar stuff. And Dante was with me. It was also his first con ever. And I went, Dante, what are we doing? He was like, man, this Avatar show, it's popular. And someone came up to me and they go, what's it like to be a villain? And I was like, I'm a villain? And they go, yeah. And I went, but I'm pink. And they were like, you ride a giant lizard. I was like, I do? I was a terrible actor. I was just like, sometimes when you read a script, you're like, bullshit, my bullshit. So anyway, that was what it was like working on Avatar. I just went in and I just played a pink.
Yeah, no, that's the greatest story ever. As a stage actor, I would always read every script. It's what you have to do. Obviously, you can't just skip around to your life. But this was different because it was just not my genre. I was like, what? Fire? What is happening? And so I didn't think of myself in terms of innocent or I guess hero or villain, but I just wanted to try and capture her spirit because I'm so different. I was nervous. So I went in kind of like, oh, I hope this is okay, with a little less confidence than maybe you did, knowing I'm gonna play this pink. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I can fool these people and be really chill.
I think I'm gonna get fired on every job. I don't know about anybody else.
I definitely felt that way.
You always kind of have that,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah, I was like, they're gonna replace me. It's gonna be someone else. So, but it was incredible. And seeing Nickelodeon, I mean, they were so kind and so hands-on, and our director was amazing.
Amazing.
Andrea Romano. And I would come in and start up here and be like, okay, please tell me you're here to kill me. And she's like, oh God, no. And she'd play back, and I'd be like, oh, that's how I started it. So I'd give it a couple takes, and then I'd finally get there.
well, you have such an amazing natural texture. Because sometimes I'll audition and things, and I'll do a gravel voice. I go, don't do that, because if I book it, I can't do that for 4 hours.
That's a good point.
But you can sustain that.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. It's
Yeah.
just your natural texture.
True. Thank you.
It's true.
For me, it was a really great lesson in going with the flow and letting life take you where it will go. Because I remember, especially after that first season aired, and I'm like, oh, this is a great show. This is amazing. Oh, wait, they're going to be in the Earth Kingdom, and I hope I can, audition for other parts. I hope I can be part of this universe. And then they would come in, and everybody else is like maybe recording together, and they're all like forming these relationships, and their amazing character arcs. And for me, it would be like I would come in, and they'd say, "Hi, hey, great to see you, James. Okay, why don't you do the first line? Okay, my cabbages. Okay. Other times in various levels of despair, and then you'd say, okay, well, that's great. See you later. Do you need someone to play that other, the bear? Do you need someone Baker has that. Don't worry about
I
that.
have a question, James. So even though it was the same line every time, you would re-record
Oh,
every
absolutely.
episode, right?
Oh, yes, there's different circumstances. Exactly. So I would never have imagined. And I said, oh, okay, I'm consigned to play this lowly merchant. But because of you guys, suddenly the cabbage merchant became a thing, a meme.
If you have a cabbage, hold it up. We want to see it.
So I have you to thank for the continuing legacy of the cabbage merchant. Thank you.
Hey, that's a good story. My story, like I told you guys, I was only supposed to be there for the Kyoshi Island episode, which I actually recorded by myself. And then they would call me back, but at the time I was on tour with the show, so I'd be in these small, I don't want to say small towns, but I think one time I was in Michigan somewhere, and they rented out a studio, and they patched the producers in, and I have to do certain things. And so then I started recording. I always tell this story, and I'll try and make it brief. I had to start recording with Jack, because do you guys remember the Serpent's Past episode?
Yes.
Okay. So Jack at the time was still in high school, and I was freshly out of high school by many years, but freshly out of high school. And we were in this tiny little studio, and we had to record those scenes, right? And so he's on his phone. He's just pretending he's on his phone. I was like, hey, and I would come in, every once in a while, and somehow our director said how old I was, and then all of a sudden Jack was like, whoo, I think he thought I was trying to pick up on him for real. So once he learned that I was not trying to pick up on him and I was married, he's like, oh, hey, Jenny, and I was like, oh my God, let's do this scene. But very sweet. I always tease him about it, and I'm sure he doesn't like to hear about it. So very, very funny. But yeah, so we got to record together a lot, and it was fun.
Just a little housekeeping item. They want you, if you could, to move away from the exit door. Leave a space, just kind of fill in the empty spaces on either side. That would be great, and we won't have fire marshals
Oh,
coming.
we love that people are so passionate about Avatar.
Yeah,
We love that, you guys. Come on in.
Yeah,
Come on in.
there's some empty seats. if you
Standing
wanna
room
try to
only
grab
on the
one.
sides. There's some seats up here, yeah.
That would be
Yeah, there
great.
are some empty seats, guys, so don't feel like there's not.
What's in the cabbage?
Do you want to talk about your favorite episode and maybe open it up to questions?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. You want to go first, Olivia?
Okay. So my favorite episode is The Beach. I love that episode because I love origin stories just in any film or any kind of IP. And so with that episode, you get a lot of origin stories, but there's also this there's a lot of levity in that episode because you get to watch Azula flirt awkwardly. It's so cringe. And yeah, it's just kind of it's fun, but it's also heavy, and you get some type of bikini, and it's just it's just a good episode. Yeah.
That's my favorite too. Ever.
Oh, you two are such twins.
They're part of the Fire Nation, that's why.
Yeah, we love the beach is my favorite. Well, first, bonfires are everything. I mean, they're awesome. And they're all just sitting around and talking about their feelings. And as a now therapist, that's my favorite thing to do. Right? So I'm like, tell me everything, how are you feeling? And I love that episode because, like you said, it's cringy but awesome to see that window into Azula and into maybe what makes her tick. So that's my favorite. I'm trying to think my favorite scene. Maybe the volleyball, isn't that?
Oh yeah, that's in that.
That's my favorite scene.
And then they just throw everything to the ground, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's something just nuts, fatal attraction about that scene.
There are a
I
couple
love
seats
it.
up here in the front, by the way.
Yes.
guys.
We have some seats up here. Come on out,
There's
guys.
like three.
And it's some on this side too.
I won't bite.
Okay, is it called Sozin's Comet?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, for me, just as a fan, watching the episode where, Azula is taking them on a little, procrastinating run, and Zuko is finally confronting his father. I just remember being so breathless watching that and wondering what was going to happen. There were so many twists and waiting for the eclipse. The eclipse to...
Day of Black Sun.
Wait, what was it called?
Day of Black Sun.
Day of Black Sun.
Oh, that one, thank you. So for me, that was the most exciting episode.
My favorite is Appa's Lost Days because exactly, that's exactly why.
No, that was mine too.
Oh, really? I watched it again during the pandemic by myself in my bed bawling. I know. Well, I'm kind of a weirdo that way. I like sad songs, breakup songs, so it's right on my brand. But anyway, I loved it too because, I don't know, it just shows Appa's character, and it's interesting how they wrote it because he goes through his own journey, obviously, in that. And I'm also happy because Suki got to help him through getting back to Aang on that. So on that note, let's do some happy games. So we're going to open up the floor for Q&A, and if you would line up near the mic here, we're going to try and answer as many questions as we can. Please speak into the mic. We might have to adjust it. It looks like it's standing straight up. Hold on. Can you, Suki? Yes. There you go. There you go. All right. Speaking right into the mic, and we'll try and answer as many questions as possible.
Right, it's Megan. So if you guys could have a chance to
Get as close to the mic as you can for you. Yeah.
there you go. If you could voice any of the other characters, who would it be and why?
Azula, because playing villains is fun. So unhinged.
Oh, Zuko. I want to be I don't know, I was really thought about that.
Azula as well, because of the unbridled power, but her delight in it.
Yes, yes.
But I would want to date Jet. So.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I'm going to be Jet for a day. I want to be a bad boy. Something fun and different.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be better.
If you could try any food from the Avatar world, which food would you try?
Cactus juice, that looks fun. Yeah, you could try any food from the Avatar world.
What would be easy? Cactus juice.
It's delicious.
I'm going to try one of those cabbages.
Yes, there are many things you can do with cabbages, so
See?
definitely.
How many things can you do with cabbages?
James makes recipes with cactus.
We've got slaws, we've got soups, we've got stir fries.
There you go.
Cabbage is the most versatile vegetable there is.
There you go. There you go.
Aang, what's your question?
Hi, so my question is for you guys, specifically Kirk and Olivia. The Boiling Rock Part 2, the scene where you guys betray Azula, was like one of my favorite scenes in the whole show. It's so good, every part of it is so good. I'm always wondering, like, what was your guys' kind of reactions to finding out how that went down? And like, this is pretty shocking how it went down in the show. So what was your reaction to finding out?
That's a great question.
Okay, so my reaction, well, first of all, Azula's my favorite character, so it's hard, but I feel like she's real, but I mean, it's hard to watch. Like, I watched the whole thing again in the pandemic, but then I watched it again after, and I'm always on my side or your side, but that time I was kind of feeling for her. And I know that's like hard, maybe I just was putting myself in her shoes, so I wasn't angry watching it later, but I think at the time I was like, what? That's not cool. But now, as I've had time, I'm a little like, I feel bad for her. Like, I identify with her in a way that I didn't, before.
Yeah, I mean, I think, just talking about Azula for a second, like a lot of people are like, oh, she's just under so much pressure and whatever, but then they also have that episode where they're all young, in flashbacks, and she's just kind of bad from she's a bad scene from this. She's a bad scene. But I think with Tiny and Azula, a lot of people ship them, they call Taizula. It's a sexual awakening for some people. It's all good. And people are like, that's a really toxic relationship. Like, I don't think that should be represented. And I'm like, well, it's representation. And relationships are toxic all the time. But I mean, for Ty Lee, was she a bad guy? Not really. I mean, she was just gonna get burned to death if, she didn't go chase the Avatar with Azula. So she came into her own and she found her own power. And so, yeah, there is kind of that moment where you do feel bad for Azula, but at the end of the day, you know, you just need to be free. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I have 2 questions. One for my buddy Mike right over here.
Oh.
So, he wants to know if he could take on the whole Fire Nation on his own without any help.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, okay, well, on a serious note, like, I just wanted to know, like, what was like when you guys were recording the final episode of the series, like, how, like, what was like the aftermath after the recording? Like, how did you guys feel?
The aftermath. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'll tell you the story. I remember going to the courtyard in Nickelodeon, and I remember seeing Olivia there, but she doesn't remember it. I remember I was standing next to her for a minute. Cricket, you were there, and then you guys walked away. So then Dante and I were standing there, and I kind of was just like, oh wow, that was kind of cool. And during the whole recording, because most of the cast recorded together for those 2 last episodes, or that whole thing, actually. We did it in one sitting. And there was this voice, and I was like, damn, who's that? You know, like, who's that person? And like, I was trying to look around, and I couldn't see him. So this man walks up, and he's just kind of, you know, chatting us up, and I was like, yeah, just talking. And so he walks away, and Dante says, hey, Jimmy, do you know who that was? I'm like, no. He's like, that's Mark Hamill. I'm like, who's that? I said, he played the Fire Lord, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. So I kind of then after that just kind of felt dumb. Like I was like, okay, we're done filming, and I'm in this. So here we go. But it was a pretty surreal experience. It was a magical moment, I think, for the whole series, and to come to a culmination like that with all of us. And when we talk about it, it's always like, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah,
Really cool to be part of that.
We didn't all record together. We recorded
Absolutely.
in pods, but for that last 2 episodes, they had everybody record together.
And I remember thinking, well, this isn't actually it. Like, I'm not sure I was crazy, but I was like, well, this is going to keep going somehow. Like, maybe my just wishful thinking. But I will say that I did remember seeing Mark Hamill, and I was totally fangirling over that. At the time when we were recording, I was like, it's Mark Hamill.
I know.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the cosplay medic. So
The medic.
Cosplay. If your cosplay is busted, you gotta find the cosplay medic. He's got safety pins. He's got you covered.
Hi, okay, so I got like 3 questions, but you'll probably see me like multiple times, so I want all these other folks to, you know, answer the
Thank
question.
you.
So my first question is, since I don't know if you don't really know the pattern before this, but if you guys could take one animal from, or one creature from the Avatar world, what would it be?
Turtle doves.
Ditto. Hello.
We can share.
We'll share.
We're gonna timeshare.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, Jenny.
Thanks for remembering my name. So, we know that the Avatar Studios has announced a lot of upcoming projects, one of them being a movie that will feature the adult game. If given the opportunity to go back, would you? And what do you think your characters would be like?
No, we would all turn that down.
No.
Yes, and I would love to even just be like a weird cameo at the end, like during the credits, like, what happened to you? I don't know. Just anything. I would take anything. I would be a fly on the wall, and it would be great.
And James is.
No, that's not for the Avatar Studios. That's
Okay.
just a lie.
Okay, still. But he's carrying on, which is awesome, his incredible character. So
Yes,
we love that.
I was able to secure a role in the live action. So it was very exciting, and I was really excited to be in it and to walk onto an actual set that looked like the series, and to have my very own cart that and my very own cabbages. It was quite exciting. Yeah, and if I could be in the new animated things, I would hope to expand into like maybe some other cruciferous.
You're never in each man #1. It's always just a cabbage.
But maybe I could sell some beef jerky or something.
Very quick follow-up. I know a lot of us are worried the Netflix series is gonna be bad. So do you
Okay.
think it's gonna be good?
Yeah, so let me just, okay, this is a great question.
Okay.
So from what I saw, so I worked maybe 3 days. And I can't give anything away because, we're all NDA, right? But everybody behind the scenes and everybody in front of the camera were such huge fans of the show. And they were really, really committed to making it as faithful as possible while making it its own thing. I mean, and I knew that because they were like, they treated me like I was some kind of like, oh my God, it's the Cabbage Merchant. This is the people who are working on it, right? So they are fans as well. Looking at the costumes, the casting, the sets, I am really, really optimistic that it's going to be a great show. So tune in and fingers crossed.
Want it to be.
Yeah.
So why don't you, what do you think? We have, and we'll never ever not have this memory. And they deserve, to have a piece of that landscape,
So, speaking to that, did you guys see Netflix's April Fool's joke?
No.
So Netflix's April Fool's joke on Twitter was announcing that M. Night Shyamalan was
no.
So my question to you all, is, as non-benders, what do you think your characters would be? Their elements.
Oh, I guess we are all non-benders.
Yes.
That's true. Excuse me. Whoa. I think Suki might do air because she uses her fans to fly into the air once in a while to gain speed, obviously. Running and jumping and fighting. I think that would be the closest thing that would be appropriate.
I like that.
I would like to develop the new 5th Cabbage Band.
There is a fan theory, I don't know if you guys have heard this, that Tylee is an aeronomad. I just said it from aeronomad because she's very floaty. She's acrobatic. She doesn't look like the rest of our nation. She has brown eyes, not amber eyes. Whoa. She kind of looks like Aang. You take her hair off, all these things. And then, she does. She actually looks like Curious George. But recently, I think last week, 2 weeks ago, they released a new story that's canon that let me try to get this right. That Lord Ozai has a sister, and that she defected and went to go join an air nomad tribe called the Guiding Winds. Do you guys know about this?
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so there is a Fire Nation element to the air nomads, whatever. So I should maybe be an airbender.
That was so informed. Well, I was gonna say I just created the what I would also call the 5th, or maybe now 6th element, which is mind bending. And that's because I started this kind of hybrid concept with May and mental health. And so the idea that she, after the show was over, got some help to wonder, why do I keep everything inside? And is that okay? What am I doing about my mother? All that stuff that we all like to do. And so then she kind of became evolved and sought out wellness. So mind bending is what I would want to be.
Oh,
Thanks.
Hi, Banana.
I have a question for all 4 of you.
Sure.
Oh boy. I'm so excited. Can you guys sing Secret Tunnel?
That we know all the words. It's gonna be kind of like karaoke, and we're gonna follow you.
Give us the 3 beats.
Ready?
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. 2. Let's take 2. Take 2. Come on now. All words.
Okay, Suki, get up here and say it into the mic.
I'll give you the beeps. I'll give you the beeps.
Not clear.
Ready? you selling? Ooh, I love that.
Well, I think somebody who visited my table had a great theory that I finally took out insurance. Yes! On the cabbage cart. And I got several settlements. And that's where I got the seed money to invest in Cabbage-Kon. So I'd say new technologies with what I resell. That's pretty good.
That's very updated. Updated cabbage. Yes.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Oh,
If you weren't serving Azula, what would you be doing?
What was the question?
I would be in the circus living my best life. Leave me alone, Azula.
Totally. It's okay. I
What would you be doing if you weren't serving Azula?
Oh, ooh. That's so good. I don't think I'd be at home either, so I'd have to leave.
You're like a rich bitch.
Yeah. I'd be fitted for a Chanel version of my gown and like get really more like sharp and kick-ass knives. So maybe it'd be like a knife, what do you call it? Like a forger. What do you call that? Iron forger.
Blacksmith.
Yeah.
Oh, blacksmith.
Like a blacksmith, yeah, something like that. That would be cool.
Thank you. Also poses for you both. If you weren't a Kyoshi warrior, what would you be as well?
The question is if I was not where?
Oh, a Kyoshi warrior.
If I was not a Kyoshi warrior, Suki would be a groupie following a boy band. Because she loves, like, touring around, like, as a groupie with Sokka. If anybody's read some of the comics, she's totally into music. So she'd be doing that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Speaking of soccer, do any of you know anything about his death? Officially.
This is his death?
Is Sokka dead?
I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah, I haven't seen Korra.
Do you know anything that happened to him?
I don't.
They leave that so open without no when he died, the speculation.
Does he die in Korra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Learning something new every day.
Yeah.
Don't know if it was red lemon or
We can choose how we can keep that after.
Make a story.
Got one other small question.
Yeah, of course.
This is for James.
Yeah.
Yes, the person for Cabbage-Kon in Legend of Korra, and how was he related, son, grandson, maybe?
Oh, I thought he was wasn't he the grandson of the cabbage merchant? Yes. Yeah. So
I missed that part.
he was a Nepo baby.
That's all I had.
Thank you.
All right.
Come real close to the
Close. I'm
mic.
real close.
All right, here's my question.
Even closer. Yeah, tiny voice.
If you could visit any one of the 4 nations on vacation, where would you go?
Oh.
Where's I want to go to Ember Island.
too.
Where's that?
Ember Islands. Ember Islands.
I don't want to be cold. I don't
I
want
like the beach too, and I like the awesome old ladies, and I'm forgetting their names right now. They're amazing. They're
to. Oh, the old ladies on the
Yes.
island. Yeah.
That's where I would.
I think Ember Island just because I don't want to be cold.
Yeah.
We're all very happy to be in Hawaii.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I might have two
Close to the mic.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. Okay, so my first one is in a band, what musical instrument would your characters play? Do you think?
The bass. I would just do like slap it in.
I feel like Tyler was playing the harp or something.
Ooh.
Just like soothing. Yeah.
Angelic.
She's not a singer. I can't sing.
I think Suki would want to sing, but she probably is not a good singer. That's why she makes a better groupie.
You know what Suki would do? I know what Suki would do. Instead of fan, she'd have a tambourine.
Oh, she would totally do that. That's a great one. Yeah, totally.
Or no, the cabbage merchant would do because of his excitability. He plays the maracas.
All right, and let's try and get as many questions, because you guys are just almost all lined up. If we just do quick answers, we can answer all the questions, and then at the end of our panel, we'd like to take a group picture, so let's have time for that. So who's next? You're gonna go speed round, speed round. Let's get all these questions
Can you
in.
please tell everyone what you're cosplaying?
I'm a cabbage.
She's a cabbage.
Which one would you want as a pet?
Oh, a turtleneck.
And we were the
We're the
Alma fans.
Yeah, we're the Alma fans. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
If you had a chance to redo any line in the Avatar series, what would you do?
To redo? I have one though. I have one. Okay, you guys. When I had to do, I am a warrior, but I'm a girl too. When I did my kiss, it literally was like, mwah. I wanted it to just sound like,
oh, that's.
But I had to do it like a few times, so it would be the kiss.
That's great. That's good. I'm sure.
Yeah. We were perfect.
No.
I'm just kidding. But that's a good one.
That's a
Jenny.
great one.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Growing up watching Avatar, when I tried to talk to other people, they would always get it confused with James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah.
So I've always wondered, if your characters got isekai into Pandora, what would they do? Would they even sell cabbages? Would Maya and Ty Lee go and try and grab Alantania? Would Suki try to ride those weird horse thingies?
I haven't seen it.
I guess that's your answer.
Because Avatar never really enjoy that content as well.
That's okay.
I don't know. I don't know, so I can't say. I think the trailer looks beautiful. I guess it's like water. Maybe it could be Pegasus.
I mean, tech just be walking around with everybody because they're also kind of naked, right? So.
I'm so sorry. I feel terrible.
I think we're stumped.
It's fine, like it's...
I think we got stumped.
If anything, we can talk about it at your booth later. I'm going to use all these other visuals.
Thank you.
Just a question.
You're good. Thank you.
Hi, I was wondering.
Close to the mic.
I was wondering if you guys have any favorite fan theories, like Tyler being such a different.
Yeah, I love that. Favorite fan theories? Yeah. No, that's a ship. Yeah, like a favorite, like Teddy being a beer river or whatever. Do you have a favorite like fan theory, like Suki went on to drink margarita?
You know, it's funny because people always ask me about what do you think happened with Suki, you know, and people ask me, did she die, or what do you think happened? So my theory is she continued to do more quote-unquote do-gooding, right? And Jack always talks about how Sokka went maybe into more leadership, but maybe they go and do their own thing and then they end up together in the future. So that's my theory.
Because maybe Zumi is my child, or Zuko's child. I'll always ship Mako anyway, so I just say yes. But I don't really know.
Thank you. That's a question. Thank you. Hi. Hello. Hello. I was wondering if you could do impressions of each other. Like here on this panel, or in general, anybody from the cast? Us four together?
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, okay.
I will say this, I don't think I've ever told you this, like one time they had me come in, because like sometimes like they'll do the episode and then they're like, oh, we need to like add a line or change a line, and they're like, we don't want to bring cricket in, so can you just do like cricket? Like that? No. Yeah, I played a line or two of yours.
I love that.
What do you have to do, Olivia?
I just played cricket.
Okay, do it. Okay, so Kylie needs to know.
It was like one line.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't even know.
What's one of your most famous songs?
My arm's never been
My aura has never been bigger.
James.
My cabbages.
One last question here. One last question. Do you have a question here? No? Oh, okay, we're going to do, I think we have one last question, and then we're going to take a group pic.
Okay.
So the last question I have for you guys is from all the songs from the Avatar series, which one would it be? Or which one like relates to you the most, or like hits you home?
Oh, what's the name of the one? Iris? What's it called?
Soldier Boy. Or at least
Take it down tempo.
But yeah.
That would be my favorite too.
Well, thanks you guys so